Shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh. Bahasham Hamashiach Yahushai. Bahasham HaKakodash. This is your fellow servant, Tazawar, from the GMS Orlando camp, here with another lesson. First, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, whom rule well, and from whom we learn this truth. Shalom to you Akim who are not in GMS, but are pushing likewise doctrine in spirit and in truth with all sincerity. To you few sisters that are listening and learning, as well as you speckled birds, scattered among the nations, looking like those nations, to the 144,000 elect men, and the rest of the hopeful elect, to you I say, Shalom. This, I did a lesson the other day, entitled What Next E, right? Or What Now E? Well, as we keep getting information on what's going on in the so-called Middle East, right? What we call the Near East, right, or Western Asia. We try to keep people updated for those who can't always get the information via news or whatever your life permits. Every believer, every brother, every sister, every Ak and Akwath, they have their own walk, their own personal struggles that they deal with. Anyway, we're going to continue to watch and give updates the best we can, because that's our job to, watch and inform the people, right? So, Israel has responded to the Iranian retaliation. Okay, so as I stated in a previous lesson, we know Israel destroyed one of Iran's embassies that was in Syria, and they ended up killing a top-ranking military official, right? Now, mind you, the embassy is neutral ground. Okay, so technically that should be considered war crime. And there's a bunch of other things that the state of Israel, under the charge of Benjamin Netanyahu, has done. But I mentioned that the people at the top, right? Call them okay, so the elite. Okay, so your Schwabs, your Oppenheimers, your Rothschilds, that lot, right? The people that head WEF and WHO, who that, and World Economic Forum, they're playing chess, right? So let's not forget that I forget who said it, but there's a quote. One of these family, I believe it was a Rothschild, who was going on record saying, "Give us control of the nation's resources," right? Roughly paraphrased. I believe they said, "Give us control of the nation's resources, and we care not who controls the money or whose face is on the money." Roughly paraphrased. Now, reason I'm bringing that up is because, again, like I said, this is, if you look at everything that's going on in Western Asia right now, from a bird's eye view, right? Or like a chessboard type thing. You have little skirmishes here and there being set up, right? You have Putin and the U.S., right? Well, basically, you have NATO and then you have BRICS, but you got Putin and the U.S. at the forefront, and then you got Putin and Ukraine, China, Taiwan, right? Israel, Gaza, Israel, Iran, right? So all these little skirmishes popping up are wars and rumor of wars, and we're gonna pull that script here in a minute, right? But what do we see that's taking place now? It seems to be because the mainstream news media is giving mixed stories, right? They're giving mixed information to the masses. Meanwhile, things are happening on the backside, right? Politically speaking, from other countries. So I want to play this video for you all. And I want you to pay attention to what is being said. Hopefully YouTube don't pull this down, but let's see.
But definitely on condemning Iran.
Right, fair use.
We told you about the US bases. Now let's talk about the countries hosting them,
Fair
the
use.
Arab nations of West Asia. When Iran launched its attack, one thing struck most observers. Jordan shot down the Iranian drones and missiles. Jordan, a Muslim Arab nation, took up arms to defend Israel. A country with a queen of Palestinian heritage defended Israel. Can you imagine the domestic headache this causes? It's why Jordan is pretending it did not help very much.
Yesterday, we dealt with some flying objects that entered our airspace and were confronted to prevent them from endangering the safety of our citizens and populated residential areas. The debris fell in multiple areas during that time without causing any damage or injuries among citizens.
Jordan is doing its best to show that it was just protecting itself, not Israel. We'll soon see if their people buy this explanation, but Jordan is not the only Arab state that helped Israel. It's the only one that did it so publicly. A lot of others helped in secret. Reports say that Saudi Arabia and the UAE were also involved. They shared intelligence about the Iranian attack.
All right, so look and read and see the caption there: Saudi Arabia and the UAE.
And that's not all. Arab
Right.
nations also opened their...
I meant to pause that so you all could see that. However, we know that Saudi Arabia and the United Emirates, the United Arabian Emirates or something like that, the UAE, they've been, pretty much in cahoots with the West the whole time under NATO, right? We know Saudi Arabia has business ties with America and things like that. So this is not necessarily surprising. Okay? This isn't surprising. They're acting like this is top news or something like that, where we know that these countries have been allies to NATO and the West before. Now, they've also tried to stay neutral, all right, in times past. All right, go back and think about Bush and the war in Iraq and all those things. Did Saudi Arabia intervene? No. What about conflicts with Yemen, right? Or earlier situations with Iran, other uh, military posturing from the U.S. and Iran, right? Did Saudi Arabia or the UAE intervene? No. So this is not special information, okay? But let's continue.
Airspace, allowing Israel's British and American allies to defend it. The Arabs host Western air defense systems, surveillance and refueling aircraft as well. All of this would have been used in the defense of Israel. So most Arab nations did help protect, allowing Israel's British and American allies to defend it. The Arabs host Western air defense systems, surveillance and refueling aircraft as well. All of this would have been used in the defense of Israel. So most Arab nations did help protect Israel from Iran. But we should mention something else here. This was not some betrayal of the Iranians or the greater Muslim cause for that matter. It's nothing like that. Iran wanted the Arab countries to pass along this information to the US. Tehran likely wanted the attack to fail. As we mentioned yesterday, the attack was to save face, to put up a good show for the domestic audience. Iran doesn't want an all-out war with Israel. If it did, it would have attacked long ago. Iran had to react to the destruction of its embassy in Syria. They also had to make sure that they did not actually hurt Israel too much. And how do you ensure that? Telegraph your attack via Arab-backed channels. The plan seems to have worked. Iran can say it attacked. Israel did not really suffer any serious damage. The US can say they protected their ally, and the Arab countries, minus Jordan, can pretend that they're not involved. Everyone wins. Well, except the Iranian, Israeli, and American taxpayers. They paid for the fireworks show after all. Arabia and the UAE, for example, they make billions through oil. They already have giant buildings and sports cars on every other street. These countries want to spend their wealth on development or prepare for an oil-free future, like Saudi Arabia, which is building futuristic cities and buying entire
Right, that's
sports.
Saudi Arabia and the
These rich
UAE.
Arab states do not want to be slowed down,
They're in
especially
cahoots with the
because of the
West.
war between two
They're
of
in
their
line with
former
NATO.
enemies. If a
All
war
right,
breaks out,
even though they
everything
try to
goes up in
remain
smoke.
neutral.
Arab airspace will be compromised regularly. Misfired weapons will damage their
Let's move
recognized
forward.
Israel back in. Now, an Israel-Iran war will be much worse. It will derail all the plans the rich Arab nations have laid out, which is why these countries will try and prevent a war at any cost.
Listen, they can try to prevent the war. It's not gonna stop. Like I said, this is prophecy. This is prophecy. You can't stop prophecy. All right. Let's move forward with this. I've been moving, fast forwarding through some of this stuff, but I'm gonna play this. Listen to this.
A bit like what Israel reported last week, but this strike appears more limited. It targeted a city in central Iran, a city called Isfahan. It's around 400 kilometers south of the capital. Videos on social media showed explosions in the sky, which usually means one thing: projectiles being shot down by the air defense. But the specifics are not clear. In public, Israel has not even confirmed this attack, but US officials did confirm it. Apparently, they were informed in advance. Israel is said to have shot missiles and drones at Iran. Did any of them hit? Again, the US says they.
Did y'all hear what she said? So Israel retaliated against Iran's response, right? But guess what? Israel telegraphed it to Iran too. So these two nations are like playing chicken, right? They're playing chicken. What they're doing is they're posturing. They're posturing. Now, what's the purpose of this posturing? It's to draw a line in the sand. Okay? Because at some point you're going to have to pick what side of this conflict you're going to be on. Okay? Let's listen to more. And notice she said what? Israel, the Israeli state of Israel, retaliated against the Iranian missile attack. But then Iran's air defense system shot down the Israeli rockets. Let's keep watching.
But Iran is downplaying the whole thing. Their state media claims small drones were fired at them, most of which were shot down.
You're seeing Isfahan, which is in complete peace. People are living their normal lives. I think 2 or 3 hours earlier at midnight, sounds were heard in Isfahan sky. Based on the information we acquired, several small drones were flying in the sky over Isfahan, which were fired at.
So Iran says no biggie. But they did take precautions. This morning, major airports in the country were closed. Most flights in the region were also diverted. But later, those restrictions were lifted. Iran now says its airspace is open. So the assumption is the strike was limited, more symbolic than deadly. But why Isfahan? It's a strategically important city. You have an airbase with fighter jets, a missile production complex, and key nuclear facilities. In fact, Isfahan is very close to Iran's Natanz nuclear site, just about 100 kilometers. But Israel did not target it. Even the United Nations Atomic Watchdog has confirmed this. They said the nuclear sites are fine. So, what was Israel hoping to achieve? Well, this operation had two main goals. One was to establish deterrence. Iran had launched missiles and drones at Israel, so Israel wanted to say, you can't do that. If you do, we will hit back. That's the logic of deterrence. The second goal was to display Israel's capability. Isfahan is deep inside Iran. It's not some remote border town. So by targeting this city, Israel is sending a message that nowhere in Iran is safe. Which brings us to the reactions. How are Iranians reacting to the strike? Many of them have shaken it off. Some don't even believe that the strike happened.
They couldn't handle Gaza, that is close to its borders. Attacking Isfahan, that is ridiculous.
If Israel makes the slightest mistake, the reaction from Iran would be more severe in a way that silences Israel and its master, the US, forever.
What about Israel? This morning, sirens ran across northern Israel. It turned out to be a false alarm, but the danger has not passed. Along with Iran, Israel also struck other targets. Explosions were reported in Syria and Iraq. Both countries host Iranian proxy groups. Plus, the Hezbollah in Lebanon has stepped up attacks. So the next few hours will be crucial. Israel will be keenly watching for a possible response. As for the people, their reaction has been mixed.
So that was damage shown in Israel. Okay?
Some say the attack was necessary, others fear what could happen next.
I think the attack in Iran is a necessary action in our environment, which is much harsher than the jungle in Africa. Animals over there behave much nicer than human in this area.
I'm very sad that Israel attacked Iran, and I'm afraid what will happen now. What will be in Israel?
Now to the million-dollar question, what happens next? Will there be more escalation between the two sides? Well, it seems unlikely at the moment.
Right. That's the same question I posed yesterday, right? Or the day before when I made the video. What next? What next, E? Because they posturing, right? And as you heard, citizens from both countries, all right, are seemingly, especially in Iran, they seem a little unbothered. They seem unbothered, right? You've seen more damage in Israel, right? In the shots, the media, the pictures in Israel, and you've seen the citizens of the state of Israel really speak more. They seem a little more worried because deep down they know what's going on, and they should if they read any type of Tanakh. All right. Now we know their main book is the Talmud, but if they claim to be the people, which we know that they're not, they should be well versed in prophecy. And let's make no mistake, some of them are. Some of them know what time it is. But this is why, as that woman said, what will be in Israel right? They're a little nervous. And they know that Benjamin Netanyahu been up to no good. Even being the devil that he is, right? This is why they're trying to oust him from that prime minister position. A lot of people in the state of Israel. Okay, let's grab a scripture here. Mark 13:7. And it reads, "And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows." All right, these are the beginning of sorrows. Now, what does it say? It says, when ye hear of wars and rumors of wars. So wars will take place, right? This is verse 7 I'm referring to again. When ye hear of wars, which we have, right? I mentioned Ukraine and Russia. I mentioned the little stuff that's going on right now in Gaza, Palestine, right? And in Israel, the conflict between those two. Now we have Iran joining. Again, we haven't heard very much between Taiwan and China, but that's on the map soon, right? Right now, that's a rumor of a war. And then we have rumors of wars between Israel and Iran. Well, these things will soon come to a head. All right, but it says what? Be ye not troubled, for things must needs be. All right, but the end shall not be yet. So the end is not yet. All right, we will continue to herald these things. All right, and chant down this kingdom because we ready to go. All right, we ready to go. And Lord willing, and we have seen that the Lord is speeding up time. Okay, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places that we've seen, and there shall be famines. We've seen that, whether natural or man-made. Most of them have been man-made, and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? We still have to get through sedition, more sedition of the people, right? That's taking place, but it hasn't reached its peak yet. Okay? The love of many waxing cold. That's taking place, but it hasn't reached its peak yet. The Lord does things in measure. Okay? He does things in measure. But take heed to yourselves, for ye shall deliver, Salakia, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. This has not happened yet. All right, so they're gathering intel. Make no mistake. The videos that we put out, their algorithms, first off, they're shadow banning, right? And they want to ban for if you play a little video or something or a little clip or whatever. But like I said, fair use. Okay? But they're using algorithms and AI to track. And we know that they put us on a hate group list, right? GMS is ranked 6th in the nation. Okay? So they're targeting us. But number 9 has to take place. Okay? Now the Lord can make this happen anytime he wants. All right, but these are things we're watching for, as well as for the charagma. All right, as pursuant to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Salaki. All right. Let's grab this. This is John. And this is John 21 and 15. All right. That's why I said we are heralding this thing and chanting this kingdom down. And it reads, so when they had dined, Yahushua saith to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, Salakia, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, you knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, feed my lambs. Right? And he saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, feed my sheep. He saith unto him a third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, feed my sheep. And that's what we're here to do. All right. And that comes in the form of watching, right? Heralding, explaining the signs of the times, discerning the scriptures for you, discerning the signs of the times, and going into history, going into prophetic breakdown. All right. The names, the true names of the Heavenly Father. All right. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Okay. Giving you explanation of all these things because we know Jake is stiff-necked. We know Jake's stiff-necked. This is why Yahweh Shai asked Simon 3 times. 3 also means completion, just like the number 7. Right? Feed my sheep. And that's what we're here to do. So anyway, they're posturing, but again, like I said, prophecies still have to take place. Verse 9 of Mark chapter 13 and Revelation the 13th chapter, that charagma. All right? But make no mistake, World War III will pop off. Okay? World War III will pop off. Because in the midst of World War III, Yahushua will return. Okay, so World War III doesn't necessarily mean the end. But these things also have to take place. Now, they could all take place subsequently, one right after the other, or the Lord could have it happen all in the same time frame. That's the beauty of this thing. All right, and we holding that faith. Okay, prisoners of hope until then. Anyway, that's just a little update on what's going on. But keep the faith. All right, I know we in exciting times. But don't forget to look at the big picture. All right, it's easy to get caught up on the little skirmishes and the details that this news media throws out. Okay, certain things have not taken place yet, but we are happy to see that these prophecies are unfolding rapidly. All right. So continue to stay diligent. Keep a watchful eye. And until next time, I pray this lesson find you well. I pray that it was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.